All right. Hello, friends, and welcome to Keyframes. This is a visual novel about college students, friendship, and there are three love interests, so there's probably something to do with them as well in this. I heard of this game again on Tumblr. It's one of my Tumblr recommendations. Normally when I'm talking about Tumblr recommendations, though, I am talking about the algorithm itself somehow recommending me visual novels. This one is actually something that I was interested in through a specific Tumblr user. On Tumblr, her username is Rui Draws Box, but everywhere else, I can't think of all the other platforms. I think like Twitter, places like that, it is Rui Chan Chan. A few months ago, she was posting about Keyframes. She hasn't done anything about it recently because she finished the demo, and so there's nothing else really to talk about. But she was obsessed with this game, and it's sort of one of those things where you start to like vicariously enjoy something because you're seeing somebody else enjoy it. I really loved her enthusiasm for this game specifically, and so I decided I'm going to try it out as well. I know pretty much nothing about this game. I know you're in college. I know it's like your second year of college, I think it is. I've glanced at a few of the characters, but otherwise I don't know too much. We're just going through like... There are 4 sections to the game, each on like a specific season. And I know only spring is in the game right now. And that's about all I know. So we're about to hop into this together and see how it is. I just remembered something. Hold on. Not properties. Advanced audio properties. There we go. You know me, the person who always puts my audio on the wrong track. That should be okay though. Hopefully it is. Just for the opening. Yikes. Anyway, let's hop into the game and let's see what this is about. Start. Time to take a quiz, a personality quiz. And no, you're not allowed to skip this, okay? We're giving you a series of statements for you to answer truthfully, okay? No, we're not. We're not the boss of you. So let's start. First question. Someone's approaching you with a clipboard. What do you do? I would honestly freeze, and I'd watch them walk up to me. I'm hoping they're going to talk to somebody behind me, but I would stop and listen if they were for me. So I'm kind of like, Are you the type of person who cries at movies? Yeah. I've done that really recently. Do small mistakes bother you, whether it's personally or professionally? Small mistakes. No. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. Do you often procrastinate until the last minute, even if it's important? Yes. Aw, man, your lunch order is wrong. What do you do? Depends. Depends. If it's something that like I either don't like or I cannot eat, I would ask them to fix it. But if it's something that I can eat, I'll be like, okay, probably more eat it anyway. You don't want to be a bother. Let's say that I ordered a burger. Let's say that I ordered a burger and instead I got a chicken sandwich. I'm eating that chicken sandwich. You forgot to write your paper and it's due tomorrow morning. I didn't forget. I'm writing it the day before. Panic, cry, pray, and then just write for my life. No, if I don't sleep tonight, maybe I can make it. Well, I will still sleep tonight, but there's a fork on this hiking trail in front of you. I imagine an actual fork. Which way do you take? More forested, well-traveled. Probably the well-traveled path. Are you the type of person that likes taking risks? No. What's your favorite time of day? Nighttime. I'm fall. I didn't know we were going into seasons. I'm probably pretty fall, yeah. These personalities are often characterized as empathetic and gentle, often thinking of life from the perspective of others. Falls might be the last person to speak, but it's only because they want to make sure that everyone's said their piece. But for all their understanding, it sometimes comes at the loss of their own wants. My camera's right in front of the screen right there. Hold on. Move it a little bit. Recalibrate. Okay. As a fall type, some of your actions and responses are already predetermined. Okay, but don't worry, you will still be able to influence your character throughout the game based on the choices you make. Interesting. I'd like to see that in action and like what the differences are in different personalities. Now let's double check some info. Absolutely. My name's Kit. Can I change my last name as well? I can, okay. I guess I'm in humanities. And I think this is the name of the college. So you can't change that much there. Next. They, them. Members of the cast may behave differently depending on factors related to their or your orientation and presentation. No. Oh. You want your MC to use? I guess this one? It's the most readable. You know, this one's also like pretty okay, but this is like, you will read this. These are a little too scripty for me, especially with readability if I want something that's like super readable. Like I could read this, but accessibility, basically. During some action-packed occasions, quick time events in this game? Oh no. Slow. Oh shit, it's... What? It's not even, I was expecting like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to go with my mouse. It's with arrow keys? Okay, that felt pretty good though. At slow, what does default feel like? That gives me too much anxiety. Okay. Let's go with slow then. I guess I am. Your phone wrestled you from your dream. Or rests, I guess. And you woke to the scratch of your sheets and the whir of the AC unit. Sighing, you stuck an arm out and patted gently around the blankets. Your phone was cold to the touch, and you yanked it quickly under the covers before swiping to answer the call. I think this is a friend. I think from reading on their page, this is one of my, like, somewhat close friends. I'll whine a little.
Rise and grind.
Oh, there's voice acting. Okay, hold on, because that was a little... I can't go back. Oh, this is so sad. Okay, let me... Preferences... Phone call labels on, screen motion on, audio. Turn you up a little bit more because you were quiet as all hell. I want you louder in my ear, but that's as loud as you get, so we'll wait for another thing just to see. No, 5 more minutes, Cam.
So cute. Deja, help. I don't think I have the heart to do this.
Yeah, let me turn up the volume for me personally, and then in post I'll figure it out.
Just get on with it already.
Okay, fine. Can you pretty please get up and look at the time?
Sure, why? You opened your bleary eyes. In the wash of warm light filtering through the curtains, you recognized the late morning hour stretching across the floor. It had to be well into the day now, and you squinted at your phone for confirmation. I didn't even look at my room yet. The art style is very interesting. Hold on, before we get... Puppy. Before we get... I love this one. That one's so cute. I love it so much. The like lines of everything, but then the actual coloring is like out of the lines, like shifted slightly to the left. I really like that actually. Okay, anyway, phone. It's noon. It's noon.
Exactly.
What does this mean for me?
That you should probably get up?
No. Aw, do I have to?
Well, I tried.
Dude, you're too nice. Let me. Hey, you gotta wake up.
I love the little clap.
You'd better not have forgotten.
About what?
Today's Raina's barbecue party, remember?
I'm a little bit... let me see about fixing that. Scooch me over just a tad. I'm still going to be hiding some of the text, especially in these sections, but I'm afraid if I put myself over here, I'm going to be hiding something over here. So we'll see how it goes.
Cam and I finished buying the snacks and stuff. We're also like 15 minutes from campus. So, if you still want to ride, you should get up. Like, right now.
Oh no, I overslept. I'm sorry.
And there's the reaction we're looking for.
Thank God. It finally sunk in.
Real sorry, guys. I'll be as quick as I can.
Hey, it's okay. You've got time. We'll be waiting for you in the parking lot, yeah?
We love you. We'll see you soon. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
I actually love both of them so much. I've known them for a whole 5 minutes, and I'm like, damn, I would die for them. Also, their voice acting, both of them are so good. I don't know why, what it is specifically about their voice acting. They sound like characters that I would love. Their voices give me happy feelings. Anyway, the call dropped and he sprang into action, sprinting across the sun-warmed floor to get ready. Okay, second year, spring semester, let's go. Do I click out of this? I do. You stepped out of your apartment building, bracing for a blast of heat. As the semester was drawing towards its close, temperatures had risen in a way that left you lingering in the chilled indoors. But thankfully, today was a perfect spring day, one of the last ones you'd get before summer crept in. There was just one thing in your way. Or, well, many things, many people. At this time of the day, Rin Mayor University was as lively as ever. Students moved in and out of lecture halls, and they were clustered everywhere with their eyes on their books, their friends, or their phones. If you hadn't been so hell-bent on finishing your assignments for the week last night, you would have been awake in time for a peaceful morning, and you'd be able to simply walk alongside the crowds, calm as everything. However, all of my work from the last 2 weeks had piled up right until the last minute. You played it fast and loose with rolling deadlines, but alas, the semester was steadily drawing to a close. With finals around the corner, you had to haul ass to get your assignments in. And thus, here you were. Hi, sorry about this, but can I squeeze by you? Thanks. You did your best navigating the crowd, dashing in between gaps the moments you saw them. By the time anyone realized they were in the way, you'd already rerouted, darting around them instead of barging through. Luckily, you still made good time, and it didn't take long before the parking lot at the other end of the green came into view. Beckoned by the near end, you picked up your pace and zipped down the road. Almost there.
Shit, watch out!
I had a feeling. Huh? You froze in place, and as you raised your arms instinctively, a pink blur darted right past you. Whoever it was, they promptly crashed into one of the lower walls bordering the path, flipping ass over an electric scooter into the hedges. All around you, students hissed with sympathy while your blood ran cold. So much for not getting in the way. I like that they have, like, the last sentence up here. Though I keep looking up there and then being like, I just read that. Of course I have to check on them. I'm so sorry. Are you okay? There was a rustle, and the student who'd swerved to avoid you emerged from the hedges with leaves in their hair. They lurched unsteadily, groaning as they clutched their head. You extended a hand, and they stopped moaning long enough to thread their fingers with yours. With your help, they climbed back over the railing, but they couldn't stand without swaying like a newborn fowl. Oh no. Hey, are you with me? How are you feeling?
Honestly, my head really hurts. I think it's bleeding.
What?
Yeah, like, right here.
Alarmed, you reached up without a thought, running your fingers into their raven locks. I don't feel anything wrong.
You sure? I think it's behind my ear. Here.
Catching your wrist gently, they turned their head a little, and you searched again with a careful touch. There was nothing aside from the dread twisting in your gut. I can't find it. Maybe you should go see... The words died in your throat when you felt their cheek drop into your palm. Hello? Their grip on your wrist had shifted to the back of your hand, softly holding you there so they could nuzzle into your touch. We've just met. You blinked rapidly in muted confusion, and they glanced at you from the corner of their eyes, their mouth lifting into a smirk as you saw and felt. Against your skin, I read it wrong, but it's okay.
Would you look at that? I'm feeling totally fine now.
That was so lame.
Do you happen to have a healing touch?
I do. Yeah, how'd you know? You cracked a smile before twisting your hand. And what was the other one? I can't go back in this game. I forgot. I didn't even read the top one. I just read that it wasn't yeah. And I was like, no, I said yeah in real life. You cracked a smile before twisting your hand and poking your knuckles lightly into their cheek. They chuckled, releasing you to tuck their hands into the pocket of their ripped jeans.
I felt the good vibes. Thanks for them, by the way.
You're welcome. But are you sure you're all good to go?
Yeah, why? See anything off?
I mean, you just crashed into a little wall, but... Yeah, here, and here, and here too. You pointed to their right shoulder, to the left shoulder, and finally to their chest. When they glanced down, you flicked your finger up and tweaked their nose. Damn. Now you're good. And we're even.
Touché.
As nasty of a fall as that had been, their laugh rolled like a tide in the late evening, washing away the sandy impressions of the whole accident. Their unshaken indifference was reassuring to see, but you couldn't help but ask one more time. Are you sure you're okay?
I'm fine, really. Healing touch, remember?
And they tapped at their cheek, chuckling. If they could keep joking like that, then there probably wasn't anything for you to be worried about. I didn't hear the voice for this one. Hold, please. With their index finger raised, they turned to kick up the scooter next to them. After they scrutinized it for any dings and scratches, they hopped on for a more thorough checkup. They pushed off with their right foot, hand twisting the accelerator so that it started up with a low whir, and set off into a series of slow, smooth laps with you in the center. I guess we don't get any more voice acting ever. Okay. Nice. Still good. Someone's clearly not in a rush to leave yet. I'm actually running late for a meetup with some friends. But not so late since you had the time to joke around. You were genuinely concerned. I couldn't help myself. You didn't know that it was possible, but their smirk grew wider, tinging a few shades more playful as they admitted to teasing you. If you've got somewhere to be, why stick around? Are you kidding me? I can't just leave after running into you.
This is a scene straight out of a movie. One of us is supposed to fall head over heels for the other, you know?
Well, to be fair, you are the one who fell over the wall, and head over scooter, so... Really now?
Yep. Movie law dictates it. I mean, 50,000 students on campus and you bumped into me? We can't ignore that.
You're so right. Tell you what, though, you can decide who falls for who. You're romantic, so I can play with whichever part. Ooh, I don't know. That took me all that long just to read all of these. I do like that they know how to clap back every time. That's good. This one a little bit, but it's not quite me. I guess what a riot. The clips, the delivery, it was an art form that they wielded with pinpoint accuracy. You pressed your fingers lightly over your mouth, but that only drew his attention to the smile hiding there. What do you want me to play instead? You can play the one who fell first. What if this is more of a soulmates chasing each other through multiple lives thing? Damn! I mean, you don't remember me? We've been together for years. You pretend to fall in love with me? That's sweet. You play the one who fell later, but harder. And this is where I walk away, having charmed the pants off of you. What if this is more of a soulmates chasing each other through multiple lives thing? Well, would you still love me if I was a van? A what? I mean, in other lives, I might not be as dashingly handsome, or even a person. There was a breezy confidence in the way they answered you, and the easy lilt to their voice told you they were more than used to this kind of tomfoolery. It was tempting to stick around just to see what they'd come up with next. Unfortunately, I gotta go. Don't run into anyone else, okay? Am I allowed to take that as you wanting me for yourself? You didn't reply, but you didn't need to. The way your lips pressed together in an attempt to hide your amusement was telling enough. You knew they'd seen it since their mouth was quirked into something between a smirk and a smile, into something that, for all their wit, was mellow and indulgent. I'll see you around. They lifted a hand, throwing you a two-fingered salute as you stepped past. You nodded back, waving a little before you picked up the pace. You lost valuable time, and so you dared to break into a jog as soon as you had a straight shot across the green. This time, thankfully, there were no collisions to be had. Let's go? You slowed to a walk off at the light... You slowed to walk off the light stitch in your chest, slipping by a group of students going in the opposite direction. Man, whoever that was over there, they are really passionate about that song. Tell me about it. As you headed between the rows of parked cars, an electronic beat filled the air. The source? A van with the front windows rolled down as its occupants rocked out to a song from a decade ago. Let's go. I'm not 100% sure what song you're referring to, and so I'm not gonna sing that. I might? Cameron sat in the driver's seat, two-toned hair flying wildly as they banged out a beat on the car door. They were one of your best friends, as well as a year above you in the same major. More importantly, they were a self-professed champion of car karaoke. When it came to immersing oneself in a song, passion was the name of the game, and for Cam, that meant there was no need to worry about hitting the right notes. I do know which song this is. Hey. The speakers went abruptly quiet right as they reached the high note. With a devastated gasp, Cam jerked around to face the passenger seat, where your roommate Pigeon laughed with delicate glee. What's Pigeon laughing? Deja was the third member of your unforgettable trio, an incorrigible tease, always looking for an opportunity to poke fun. She'd obviously been waiting for the right moment to turn the volume down. Hi, Cam. Hi, Dee. At least the lull in the music meant you didn't have to shout. As soon as you called over to them, they both leaned forward to wave. Hey, sleepyhead. We were just about to go looking for you. After a quick karaoke sesh, right? Well, it was either that or we'd have to burst into the apartment with a boombox, and I left my boombox at home. Damn. Well, don't stop on my account. As my liege Kit commands, D, hit it. The music bumped back up a little in volume, and Cameron serenaded you with a cheerful abandon as he walked over. You made sure to clap real loud when they reached the end of the chorus. Anyway, get in already. You rounded the passenger side and tugged at the door handle, only to find it locked. Is something wrong? So now it was your turn to be played with. Real mature, roomie. Oh, good. For a second, I thought I was being immature. Rolling your eyes, you rapped on the window for Cameron's attention. Cam, unlock the door, please. As requested, the lock flipped up a second later and clicked right back down. Deja's grin widened, and she propped her chin innocently on one hand. Deja... Yes? You'd known Deja for almost 2 years now. She dragged this joke on as long as she could, unless you did something about it. Ooh. Yeah, let's reach for the unlock button. Deja lurched back with a stifled curse, dodging your first flailing attempts. Hey, what are you doing? My best. You jammed your arm through the window even more, but you only barely brushed against the button before Deja slapped your hand aside. What? You reeled back, aghast, and Deja stared back at you, coolly defiant. Since you knew her so well, it was the easiest thing in the world to spot the flicker of petulance in her expression. She was a second away from smiling, and that made her all the more willing to fight you off. Now you've done it. Without further ado, the two of you descended into a full-on slap fight, swatting ineffectually at each other in a battle for the unlock button. Was it childish? Yes. Would either of you stop? No. At least not until... Okay, truce. I don't want to scratch you. Then, can I press the button? The lock clicked and the side door slid open with a beep to let you in. I'm liking the moxie, Kit. What about my moxie? You've always got moxie. What matters is when Kit makes you show it. Holy shit, Cam. You scrambled into a seat in the middle row, noting the rueful smile that Deja wasn't quite managing to hide. Wow, what a car. Sure, she'd inconvenienced you, but it had been in the name of fun. You didn't mind a little tomfoolery at your expense. Can I hide the text? I can. Let's look at this whole thing, because wow. In fact, I'll even move out of your way. As far as I can. Yep. Okay. Sometimes being the subject of Deja's teasing meant you got to enjoy her attention for just that much longer. Camcorder to Ice Queen. I repeat, camcorder to Ice Queen. The package was received safely. Now awaiting new orders. Over. We proceed as planned. Onwards. To Reina. To Reina! You all clicked your seatbelts in, and Cameron shifted the car into reverse. Twisting in their seat, they gave a quick peppy salute before settling one hand on the back of Deja's headrest. They maneuvered out of their parking spot with a practiced turn of the wheel, looking backward all the while. It was inevitable you'd make eye contact, and when you did, they winked. I know, I'm the coolest, aren't I? On most people, this kind of ego-boosting question would come off as arrogant. On Cameron, it came off as an intentional joke, a way to keep the energy light. You and Deja had the rare privilege of seeing Cameron at their silliest, and they made sure you knew it. Ooh, I think it's hot when you do that. I don't know the way that they'd take it, though. Like, I would mean it jokingly. They'd probably take it jokingly. Cameron slammed on the brakes and you jostled forward against your seatbelt with an oof. Okay, was that not the thing to say? The sudden whiplash drew a disapproving glare from Deja. Get a grip, Cam. How can I? Kid just called me hot. Should I not have said that? No. I mean, yes. I mean, oh Lord, I am not your strongest soldier. You're agnostic. Also, you're holding up a line. Ah, shit. They stuck an arm out the window to wave frantically before switching gears and turning the car out of the parking lot. It took until you were out on the main road for their grip on the steering wheel to relax. A cool breeze fluttered through the front windows, and campus buildings rolled by in silhouettes of glass, stone, and brick. Rin Mayor was an easy first pick for many students. While not overly prestigious, it was a beautiful school set near a cozy town, couched in hazy blue mountains and forests of deep green. The academics here were no joke either. It had been competitive enough that you'd still felt more than lucky to be admitted into the pre-law track to boot. It was certainly the prettiest and coolest campus you had ever seen. The brochures had done their best to capture everything, but nothing had beaten experiencing it in person. Your first month here had been a giddy one, full of exploration and maybe a little frolicking. Campus was, to quote Deja when you'd met, picturesque as fuck. And to quote Cameron next, sick as fuck. Thanks to the mountains, there was an observatory on one side of campus and a ski slope on the other. The locals enjoyed them just as much as the students did. Fairfield was a small place, but that didn't mean it was boring. Cameron slowed down for a speed bump, and you heard the rustle of nylon bags in the trunk. How did shopping go? Deja tipped her head back to laugh. More of a sharp exhale, really. It was easy to miss these mini laughs of hers if you didn't know what to listen for. Should I tell them or will you? Why? What did you do, Cam? Why do you assume it's me who did something? Remember, in the court of law, everyone is presumed innocent before you are not on trial. But if you were, we'd present to the court a picture of a certain pyramid of paper towels knocked all over the floor. We had a defective wheel and the cart wouldn't steer right. Cam, remember, we volunteer nothing. Stay quiet. You're so right. They clamped their mouth shut, twisting an invisible key at the corner and tossing it away. Well, as an eyewitness to the crime, I've got plenty to say. He's bluffing, stay strong. Honestly, it's not like anything actually broke. The employees said it was fine, but Cam's convinced they can't ever go back to Dickinson's again. Probably for the best. You won't stop laughing whenever we pull up. Dickinson. Always in one ear and out the other for you. Cameron snickered, and as they flicked the turn signal on, Deja tilted her head to look back at you. What's up? You met her eye with an automatic smile, watching as her expression softened. She took her time putting the words together, as she usually did around you. Was your morning all right? Beyond the obvious, I mean. Well, naturally, you hadn't been set up for success today. Your room had been a mess, you'd woken up late, you had to run across campus, and you'd gotten held up by that stranger. There was a lot to say about your morning from that alone, but you did want to tell your friend. But did you want to tell your friends? I can't read, apparently. Yeah, why not? Well, I ran into someone on the way over. From where? No, I mean, I ran into someone. I didn't know them. You ran? Yes, well, I didn't fall over, but they did. LMAO! What happened? It wasn't good. I was in the way, and they couldn't stop their scooter on time, so they ran into a hedge. The poor campus foliage. But they were okay, right? Then they turned it into a whole rom-com thing. Really big on the sappy jokes, you know? Uh-huh. What's that for? What? What'd I say? You get those smug smiles off your faces. You leaned forward to drum your hands petulantly on their seats, and Deja laughed, unlocking her phone as she leaned away. I have no idea what you're talking about. Anyway, did you get a name? Cameron wiggled their eyebrows enticingly in the rearview mirror, and he scoffed. Your friends weren't the biggest gossips, but they could still be quite nosy in their own right. Cam's curiosity was born of genuine interest, wanting to know for knowing's sake, but Deja wanted to appraise. At the very least, she'd make it heard whether she thought someone was bad news. She had a good radar for bullshit, no matter the context. Crappy sales deals disintegrated under her discerning eye, and anyone with ill intent could look forward to the same. Alas, no, I didn't. What? Boo. Yeah, how's Deja gonna do any internet stealthing now? We just have to run into them again? Please not with a car. In the intervening lull, you mulled over that stranger one last time. I told Deja and Cam practically everything. There'd been little to no chance you would keep a story like that from your friends. It was all par for the course. Well, thanks for picking me up anyway. Of course, we can't miss out today. It's so much free shit. Hey, don't forget, we've got work to do first. We will. If I have a lot of Tupperware in the back, that's a coincidence, I assure you. Some of that Tupperware is mine, right? Even if it's not, you can borrow whatever. He smiled, resolving to help Cameron pack away whatever leftovers they wanted first. The rest of the ride was a tangle of light-hearted conversations. Deja and Cam were common fixtures in your life, but you rarely ran out of things to talk about. It was never silent. At least Deja had the aux, and she'd put one of her playlists on as soon as you left campus. Gradually, the trees on either side of the road thinned, and the car entered a classy residential area with quaint homes separated by large lawns and extensive driveways. Is this the one? Yep, just pull in behind that car. Cameron pulled over, fitting the van into an empty spot. With the number of other vehicles already there, you were probably among the last of the helpers to arrive. Hopefully Reyna wouldn't mind. Peering out the window again, you were struck by the suburban mood that blanketed the entire area. Man, who's getting housing out here? This is way fancier than what's on campus. Huh? Oh, no, this isn't for students. But Reyna lives here. She sure does. Deja flicked her wrist impassively, speaking with the bluntness of someone who's seen this view one too many times. It's a legit neighborhood. Some of our professors live here, the tenured ones. Kim, I'm pretty sure your first-year seminar professor is her neighbor. No, Miss Gregory? Yep. Apparently she swings by with muffins. Man, we didn't call her a G for nothing. Oh, so you like Miss Gregory? Okay. I love you, Miss G! Cameron hollered after sticking their head out through the window, fist thumping on their chest to express their admiration. Deja snorted. So close, it's the one on the other side. Well, whoever lives on this side, I also love them. Anyway, let's get going. Wait 1 second. The locks clicked shut, and the window on Deja's side whirred as she rolled it back up. Are we really playing this game again? No, this time I've got a good reason. I said this was a party that Reyna was hosting, right? And I was co-hosting. Yep, I remember, since it was so weird hearing that. What? Weird how? You don't really do parties, D, not unless it's our birthdays or something. And we're here early to help set up. That means... It's an SGB party. Case closed, Detective Thicket. Case closed indeed. Excellent work, Detective Marinara. I don't know why that reminded me of marinara. Came out of like the depths of my soul. Molinaris, okay. Deja pouted a little, and the two of you turned away to giggle. Your roommate was vice president of the Student Government Board, which organized events and initiatives all over campus. It hadn't exactly been rocket science to guess the real nature of today's party. It was even easier when one considered that Reyna was the SGB president, though that did bring up one inconsistency. If it's SG business, why not put that in the name? Why is it just a barbecue today? Because it's a test run. We like to run this on a bigger scale next year, so we're running it in a smaller trial first. That's why it's at Reyna's place. The other SG people know, and now you do too, but none of the other guests really do. Okay. Is that it? Nope. There's something bigger. She held one hand out to each of you, palm up. You didn't really like being touched by other people, but you made an exception for your close friends. Also, it's just a hand. You stuck your hand in hers as requested, swinging your clasped palms with a little smile. Cameron was more enthusiastic, slapping their hand on hers with a resounding smack. While you were at it, you and Cam linked your free hands as well, completing the triangle and leaning in to listen. There was a pause as Deja's gaze glided from you to Cameron and back. The anticipation built, and she gathered her words. The barbecue. It's a game at the end. Scavenger hunt. I'm asking the both of you, from the depths of my heart, to take it seriously. A scavenger hunt? Deja, you know I treat those with extreme seriousness. I know you do, but I'm asking for you to go beyond that. Seriousness? Beyond the usual? What's up with this game, D? The scavenger hunt, my friends, has a prize of $500. Suddenly, the car was deathly silent. Let me repeat that. $500 fucking dollars. Cameron's tongue darted out to swipe at their dry lips. Deja, if you're screwing with us, I'm dead ass. This is real. We, alongside the rest of the guests, are playing for keeps, and there is, I shit you not, a fat stack of cash waiting in Reina's room as we speak. If there is ever a moment to take my words at face value, it is now, okay? I am not kidding. That cemented it for Cameron. Holy shit. The car rocked on its axles as they leaped up in their seat, thumping their hands wildly on the steering wheel as they screamed. Even Deja joined in on the chaos, her heels driving into the carpet of Cameron's car in a series of gleeful thumps. The jewelry adorning her body jingled with the movement as she, too, began yelling. You didn't even bat an eye as you simply sat in your seat. The prize money itself didn't mean much to you, but even so, okay, I would like $500. But I don't want to scream and shout and let it all out. Okay, wait. Cameron came down from their initial shock to seize Deja by the forearms. Your roommate grabbed them back, the white of her manicured nails standing out against the gray of their hoodie. Game plan, what is it? You have to have one, right? Like, we're winning the thing, no question. Definitely. I already know where everything is, otherwise there's no point bringing this up. Wait, are we cheating? Deja grinned at you without hesitation, mischief sparking to life in her eyes. Some people call it cheating. I call it a utilization of prior knowledge given my role as party coordinator. That's just a long-winded way of saying we're cheating. If Reina didn't want me to cheat, then she wouldn't have asked me to help hide the items. Besides, just because we know where everything is doesn't guarantee we'll win. We still have to get everything first if we're going to grab what we need. I don't know. There was a moral conundrum at play here, to cheat or not to cheat, and the angel on your shoulder begged for you to object. However, the little demon perched opposite whispered otherwise. Your inability to take a stance must have reflected on your face. The excitement on your friends' faces washed away, leaving behind a faint but genuine concern. Hey. You meet her gaze, which was now soft and warm. And we don't have to, it's just a thought. Yeah, it's not like we need to cheat to win. That cash is ours no matter what. I suppose as long as we're playing honesty, we should... There was a sudden tap on the window, and Cameron let out an ear-splitting scream. Deja screeched and turned, flinging herself backwards against the locked door. You dodged her flailing arm as she tried to sock Cameron in the shoulder, ducking back into the middle row of seats. Christ, Cameron. Ow, sorry.
You'd better not be doing what I think you're doing, Deja.
Ooh, maybe we are? Who knows?
Damn it, Raina. I almost pissed my pants.
Raina peered through the passenger side window, her curled fingers shading her narrowed eyes. With her back to the glass, Deja looked sulkily to one side, stalling as long as she could before she'd have to make eye contact.
Why does she look so scary staring in like that?
Deja shook her head without answering, and she swiveled back around in her seat. Rolling down the window, she fixed Raina with a flat stare.
Not that I'm admitting it, but we weren't doing anything.
Oh, but you were thinking of it.
Mm-hmm. Past tense.
A likely story.
Even if I tell the truth, she won't believe me.
I can't blame her. This is you we're talking about.
Like you weren't on board with the idea.
At the accusation, Cameron only looked away, whistling a random tune.
Whatever. If it helps Raina, my lovely roommate's got too good of a conscience to let us do anything.
My lovely roommate, that's me! Raina turned her scrutiny on you, and you smiled nervously. Hi. You weren't sure if she didn't know you well enough to accuse you, or if she did know enough to let you off the hook. Either way, she relented with a sigh, her shoulders slumping as she relaxed.
Fine, I believe you. Or I believe your roommate.
I'm hurt.
Raina scoffed before finally stepping away from the window.
Okay, come on out. You guys aren't just here to have fun after all.
Doors opened and shut, and you lined up next to each other by the van. Raina paced slowly back and forth, her fingers tented in front of her as she eyed you up and down. So, where do you need us?
For starters, we've been waiting for the stuff you're buying, so hopefully you've got everything on the list.
At a heavy price, yes.
Cameron lowered their heads solemnly, pressing one hand to their collar as they sighed. You smiled, knowing they were thinking about all those fallen paper towels at the store.
Unless you guys bought something extra, we shouldn't be over budget. But anyway, if you can get everything to the backyard, we can finish setting up the tables.
We're on it.
Actually, Deja, I need you to help oversee the other members first.
No, what? They're going to ask me what to do.
That is part of our job, you know. We're their elected leadership.
That doesn't mean they can't fend for themselves.
I know, but I have to go move all the scavenger hunt items. Just in case. Then I'll come to relieve you, I promise.
Fine.
Damn.
I guess I'll handle the groceries then?
Yes, please. Deja can point you to where everything needs to go.
Can do.
Cameron jabbed a button on their key, and they headed to the SUV's rear with Deja. You were about to follow, but Raina put a hand to stop you, okay?
I've got a different kind of task for you.
Okay.
You're gonna help a friend of mine finish making these damn cupcakes.
I can do that. Sure thing, boss. Ah, so obedient. I love it. So here's the deal. These cupcakes were supposed to be finished an hour ago. The guy you're helping knows what he's doing. You might know him for it, actually. Unless you live under a rock. It's fine if you don't. It's not important. What matters is he's only one person, and I may have hit him with a really tall order. So just... She made a grand but uncertain gesture, waving one arm vaguely towards the house. Help where you can, all right? And I mean wherever you can. The clock's ticking. Is there something I should be watching out for specifically? Trouble. In any and all shapes. Alrighty, I'll do my best. Raina sighed, her head tipping to one side as she folded her arms. Sorry, it's just that my friend's sort of finicky. I do believe you'll be alright, but just in case, I've got a couple of notes, okay? 1, he's going to insist he can take care of the cupcakes himself. Don't listen to him. We need to expedite the process. 2, he's a little on the skittish side, like a bunny, so don't do anything to spook him if you can, okay? Okay then. With a jingle, she pulled a spare house key from her pocket, handing it over with a peppy nod. I leave him in your capable hands. Once you're done, come find me in the backyard. I'll be around somewhere. Thanks a bunch, Kit. And like the spring breeze, Raina left in a flurry of pink. Okay, I'm assuming that this is a very zoomed in picture of a different background because it's weirdly out of focus, weirdly like bad quality, kind of. I don't know. You step through the front door, half expecting to find yourself in a life-size version of a pink plastic dollhouse. Surprisingly, the living room was just that, an average living room found in any house in the Northeast. Bummer. Maybe you shouldn't have expected much, considering the exterior wasn't doused in baby pink. Back to the job. A sweet, warm aroma led you across the living room and through an archway on the other side, into the kitchen. There was someone stooped behind the kitchen island, with blonde hair and a green sweater. They bent even farther, leaning down to swap trays of batter in and out of the open oven. That would have to be Raina's friend. He spoke up as you entered, trying not to startle them. Heyo. Okay, at least he didn't drop anything. The door to the oven snapped shut, and with a fresh batch of cupcakes held in one mitted hand, he turned to you, lips parted in slight surprise. I would have waited until the cupcakes were out of his hand and the door was shut, but whatever. There was a movement of hesitation visible on his face before it thawed into a genial smile. Genial? I don't know.
Hello? Can I help you?
It was only a couple of words, but you noticed a lilt in his voice. The vowels softly rose and fell, lending him a melody that threaded even the simplest of sentences. A foreign exchange student, maybe. There were plenty of those at Rin Mayor. Hi, that's what I'm supposed to ask you, actually.
Pardon?
Raina sent me over. She said I'm supposed to help you with whatever you need. He nodded once before placing the tray on the tray on the stovetop and shaking off the oven mitt.
I see. I've got it covered, but thank you.
She said you'd say that. I'm supposed to insist on helping you. So this is me insisting. What can I do? He raised a brow as he thought, but after a moment he nodded a second time.
Well, I put the last batch in already, so all that's left is decorating.
Okay. There was barely any space on the counter when you joined him, thanks to the wire racks crowded with rows and rows of cupcakes. A number of them were already frosted, but there were plenty that hadn't yet been decorated. I'm starting to see why Raina told me to come help.
Waiting for the cupcakes to cool was the most time-consuming part. We'll be done in time.
He gestured to a row of piping bags filled with a rainbow of different colored frostings.
Do you know how to use these?
Luckily you did know. I know what to do.
Then, please, be my guest.
Feel free to appraise my work.
No holds barred?
Well, some holds, please. Don't hurt my feelings.
I'll try not to.
You glanced at the cupcakes that were already finished. Some of the designs were singular flowers made of layered petals. Others were entire bouquets of tiny clustered blooms, piped with a confident flair that made for a spectacular show of craftsmanship. Since flowers seemed to be the theme, you quickly pulled aside 3 colors of frosting, and with practiced movements, you started piping. Along the way, you switched from white to cream. Those are practically the same color, but okay. Then to a peachy blush. With a flourish, you lifted the nozzle one last time, revealing a rose that faded from one color to the next.
Alas, there's nothing for me to hold back. You did well.
Yippee!
You can carry on then. I'll deal with the finishing touches.
Returning to a rack of half-decorated pieces, he picked up a piping bag and settled in. Wherever his attention turned, leaves and petals unfurled in flicks of effortless color. Bit by bit, he cultivated a garden out of frosting. Vanilla and sugar wafted through the air, making the scene even more convincing. You're really good at this. You handed over a cupcake with a rosette on it, and he tended to it quickly, creating a cluster of wavy-edged leaves. I'd hope so. I've been doing this for a long time. How long are we talking? 10 years, maybe 11. I hope you're getting paid for this at least. Are you? No, I'm just a volunteer today. Raina knows I try to help out where I can. I see. Well, today I'm simply honoring a favor. That's a very, very big favor to call in. He cracked a wry smile and you grinned right back, before realizing that you'd skipped a crucial step. Oh no. Oh, hi. Nice to meet you. I'm Kit, they them pronouns.
You can call me Jamie. He, him.
Something tickled the back of your mind when you heard that. Jamie. Yes? Oh no, it's just I can't quite put my finger on it, but your name reminded me of something. An average name. No, there's something like... Then your stomach decided to rumble, and your train of thought screeched to a halt. There was no way Jamie hadn't heard it, but he kept piping, with his eyes demurely lowered and his mouth shut. Sorry about that, I haven't eaten yet. You haven't? There hasn't been a good opportunity to. Best to remedy that, then. He reached over to hand you yet another unfrosted cupcake. Have one. Can I really? Isn't this for the party? Raina won't count them. Probably. And if she does, she's a nerd. Well, thank you. Without further ado, you peeled the wrapper away and took a bite. The cupcake was light but decadent, sitting on your tongue with a distinctly floral flavor. Okay, I understand the floral piping then. It was sweet, of course, but not cloying, something that Jamie seemed to already know as he blinked expectantly at you. It tastes like a flower. That was the plan, yes. Any other notes? No, it's really good. Then please do eat the rest of it. Suddenly, there was a rattling sound, and you leaned to look through the archway into the dining area. Two silhouettes stood at the back door, rattling the handle to no avail. Damn it, it's locked. Told you, Raina said no one's allowed in until the party starts. Dude, I have to piss so bad. You don't have a spare key? No, but if we go find her now, she might walk you in. Ugh. Automatically, you took a step over, but before you could actually get anywhere, Jamie spoke up. Don't do that, please. There wasn't a shred of hesitation in Jamie's voice. While you looked between him and the door, the silhouette shrank away from the curtain, as the unfortunate volunteers gave up and left. Why not? I don't want people in here. Okay. Raina's words from earlier resurfaced, skittish, like a bunny. He didn't strike you as the timid type after talking, but now you were starting to wonder if there was something else going on. Still, there were a few things that felt as bad as being unable to find a bathroom on time. What would that volunteer do? Beg Raina to let them in? Drive all the way back to campus? No. They don't want me to unlock the door, therefore I will not. Well, I feel bad for them, but Raina did lock the doors, so... With a final glance at the door, you moved to pick up another cupcake. Jamie did the same, though he was finished piping an entire flower by the time you got one layer of petals down. He was moving at a clipped pace, his eyes fixed on his work as he let the silence between you stretch on. It felt like he was waiting for you to do something, judge him maybe for refusing to help others, or ask him to explain himself in more detail. There was a slantwise way to do that without sounding like you were accusing him. So, I think almost all the other volunteers here are student government. I'm guessing you're not, since you only said you were doing Raina a favor? That's correct. I'm not either. Deja, the vice president, I'm her roommate, so we came together. Us and... There was that rattling again, from the front door, this time, and it was followed by the familiar scrape and clunk of the lock turning. The party's not starting, is it? Wiping your hands, you walked briskly into the living room, intent on investigating, only to hop aside as the door swung open much faster than expected. Excuse me. Without further ado, a student dashed right past you, disappearing down the hall. A second student leaned through the door to shout after them, still holding a spare keyring. Raina says we get 5 minutes, so hurry. Whoa. They flinched, realizing they were standing next to you, and you put your hands up in an automatically placating placating. Gesture. Hi. Hi? Wait, how'd you get in here? Oh, Raina asked me to help out. You answered automatically, and the student gave you a second, more discerning look. Uh-huh. Well, as long as I'm waiting for my friend, I'm gonna sit. The front door clicked shut behind them, and while you quietly reached out to relock it, they moved across the living room, only to glance into the kitchen and pause, perking up with evident glee. Yo, cupcakes! Did you do all this? No, I just started helping with the decorations. Yeah? Who made them then? If they hadn't spotted Jamie yet, it meant he'd left the counter where the cupcakes were. You couched your answer and you couched your answer? I've never heard of that before. In a little lie of omission, walking closer. Someone who owned Raina a favor. That's why we're all here, am I right? They chuckled conspiratorially, and before you could get around them, they stepped into the kitchen. How long have you... Whoa, wait, Jamie? Damn, I tried my best, man. There was a half-decorated cupcake left on the kitchen island, as well as a piping bag. Jamie was standing in the dining area, far enough away that it was clear he tried to stay out of sight. Hello? I didn't know you were here. Oh, but this makes sense. Jeez, this is a ton of cupcakes. Uh-huh. And why are you here? Oh, we had to use the restroom. Not we, my friend. Right on cue, footsteps came back from elsewhere in the house. Jamie stepped back towards the counter. His shoulders sloped downwards, and the volunteer next to you raised their voice. Hey, in here, you're not gonna believe this. What? Why are you... Oh. Hi, Jamie. The first student peeked into the kitchen, then scampered in with a wide smile. Their eyes were instantly glued to Jamie, to the point that they almost pushed by you on their way in. If these two had their way, they'd be behind the kitchen island in a second, cooing over the finished cupcakes. With 2 steps in, Jamie put a hand up, his expression polite, but distant. Please stay on that side of the kitchen. I'm still working on these. You've been in here making cupcakes the whole time? Man, if we told people it was Jamie in the kitchen, our guest list would have exploded. As they spoke, the second student reached out, and Jamie smoothly plucked the half-decorated cupcake off the island before they could touch it. He picked up the piping bag with his other hand, finishing the rosette on top instead of replying. It didn't help much. If anything, it gave the volunteers something else to talk about. I swear these things look almost too good to eat. Almost. But really, you could have asked Raina for help. This is so much to handle all by yourself. It wasn't difficult, a little time-consuming. Jamie's sentences were oddly short and quiet, but the low volume of his words seemed to encourage the two to crowd a little closer. Come on, you make it look easy, that's all. I know I couldn't do this much detail. The last time I had to decorate cupcakes, I just spread the frosting with a knife. Their giggle twirled and pitched into a higher octave, just as the oven timer went off. Jamie reached to turn it off, picking up an oven mitt and opening the door. Are you sure you're not in the food sciences program? I mean, I know there was a pastry degree or something. If there was a pastry degree or something, you'd be in it. More like teaching it. Jamie Porter on the faculty? The school would be swimming in tuition fees. And they left, bumping each other's shoulders with easy, raucous humor. You shuffled from one side to keep from getting jostled, when what they said replayed in your mind. Jamie Porter? What was it that Raina had said? You'd know him unless you lived under a rock. You knew what the campus rumors said, of course. Somehow you'd gone almost 2 full years without seeing the man yourself, but you'd heard things here and there about a certain transfer student whose smile charmed anyone in a single glance, okay? His good looks, effortless grades, and princely manners made him a shoo-in for the position of campus boyfriend, okay? People loved to talk about him, no matter what program or year they were in. And you'd been decorating cupcakes with him, completely unaware until the final clue fell into place. But seriously, what do I have to do to get a cupcake early? Jamie shook his head, placing the last freshly baked cupcake onto an empty rack. Automatically, he picked up a cooled one, piping half a rose as he spoke. They're not finished. Well, not all of them. What about that one? They leaned forward, lifting a hand to either point at the cupcake in Jamie's hand or reach for it outright. Jamie stepped back and they pulled their hand away, sucking in a breath that turned into a sly chuckle. Yo, just kidding. I see how hard you're working on that one. Got any rejects lying around? I'd be pretty surprised if they were. Yeah, good point. Like Jamie Porter ever messes anything up. The atmosphere in the... Can I just, like, kick these guys out already? This whole entire time, the second that they walked in here, I'm like, I will physically remove you from the premises. Just give me the fucking chance, game. The atmosphere in the kitchen had chilled since the volunteers had come in, but neither of them seemed to notice. Glancing at Jamie, you noticed he was studiously avoiding eye contact with everyone in the room, you included. Huh? I have stats? Your choices and keyframes can impact your main stats, which are divided into 4 categories: confidence, charisma, compassion, composure. Some interactions may involve hidden stat checks, and success or failure will impact the story you're playing through. Oh. Try not to stress. I will. They're mostly for flavor. No, I want to be good at everything. Back, I guess. These volunteers had to go and you'd send them on their way. That's me. I want to see though, because they say Watto. Cameron was here. Stop doodling all over Kit's notes. Relax, this page is blank anyways. LMAO. Okay, I am compassionate, I'm pretty composed, and I have Riz. Hell yeah, but I'm not very confident. His stats, Watto? What are the odds? Oh, I guess that's something for later. I won't read it right now. And then the quick time events, which we haven't gotten to yet. I was just interested. I wanted to know my stats. Okay. That feels a little too out there for me. I'm gonna say enough was enough. Just kidding, I failed. Hey, the party's gonna start soon. Your voice barely wavered as you interrupted, and you kept your head up and shoulders loose as the volunteers turned to look at you. There were times to put your foot down, and this was one of them. We're going to inconvenience everyone if we can't get ready on time. Maybe we should... Hey, read the room. Jamie doesn't mind, does he? He does. Get the fuck out. Oh my god, let me push them. They overrode you without a scrap of hesitation, and you balked despite yourself, taking a little too long to put the next attempt together. It didn't escape your notice that they hadn't actually bothered to get Jamie's opinion, but that was because they were staring at you. I'm just saying, we're all volunteering and Raina gave us jobs to do. Yeah, and we'll get to them in time. Why are you so worried? Seriously, chill out. We're just chatting.
If you don't mind, I need to keep working.
It was Jamie's turn to interrupt. He slid a rack of cupcakes onto the kitchen island, pointedly keeping them out of the volunteers' reach, and when he looked up at the 3 of you, an unwelcome feeling of awkwardness crawled down your spine. Oh, it's no bother, you can...
I'm afraid it's more crowded than I prefer.
He left it at that. They, took a step, looked back. His level stare saying the rest. Reluctantly, the 2 volunteers trailed through the dining area, glancing over their shoulders at Jamie every few steps, as if he'd change his mind. So, we'll catch you later then? See you at the party. Finally, the back door shut behind them, and the kitchen was quiet. I tried my best, man. I'm sorry, I failed my confidence check. In the wake of their departure, Jamie let out a slow, calm breath. I suppose that was inevitable. Yeah, sorry if I made things worse. You cleared your throat awkwardly, rejoining him at the counter and picking up a piping bag. The words had stung a little, but at least it was over. You said the quiet part out loud. Not necessarily a bad thing. Well, they weren't fucking getting it, so I felt like I had to say it out loud. Like I said, if that was real life, 100% I am literally pushing them out the door. Get out or I'm going to tell Raina. Jamie shrugged non-committally, sliding a flesh rack, of cupcakes between you. In any case, I do appreciate you trying to help. You're welcome. He reached over, dotting 3 simple leaves onto the edge of your cupcake in a second gesture of thanks. Jamie stepped away for a moment, checking whether the final batch of cupcakes was still warm. You stayed to the side, finding a steady rhythm and piping some flowers in quick, careful succession. You glanced at him once or twice as you worked, noting the way he angled his face away from you. Now that he knew you knew who he was, there was a wariness in his posture that hadn't been there before. He was Jamie Porter, after all, and you'd practically thrown yourself under a bus to get the other volunteers out of the house. If there was a time for you to go all starry-eyed on him, it'd be now. He didn't want others finding him in the house for that very simple reason, and thinking back, Raina's hesitation when she sent you here made complete sense. How many are left on your side? He asked you a throwaway question, and you glanced away to count the cupcakes within reach. Even if you were trying to keep your cool, the musical lilt of his voice was hard to ignore. Fewer than 10 left. Not too bad. It does go surprisingly quickly, provided there are no distractions. When he looked at you, he had a small smile on, the same polite peach crescent that he greeted you with when you first met him. It didn't look like there were any hard feelings about everything that had happened, at least on the surface. Maybe he did wait for you to finish more cupcakes on your side before he reached over to start adding any details, but he did add them. For all intents and purposes, you had your workflow back. The number of undecorated cupcakes dwindled steadily, and you even tried your hand at a few leaves and vines once you felt up to it. Eventually, Jamie tapped his finger on the counter, breaking your focus. Okay, the last batch needs another 10 to 15 minutes to cool, so you can finish up and go back to Raina. You sure? I can stick around. It's fine, you can tell Raina I'll be finished in time. You couldn't really hold it against him if he wanted some time to himself. It was as good as a time as any to get back to the others. Then I'll go let her know. Thanks for helping me help you. Of course. You left through the back door, making sure to lock it behind you. Immediately, you were hit by a wave of sound, a chatter and clatter in equal measure, as students hustled back and forth across the lawn. Thoughts about him in particular? I know we didn't do thoughts about the first character. But Jamie in particular, I do not fucking care if you're some popular ass man. Oh my god, he's like the perfect boyfriend. So? Also, he's just straight up not my type, so. Anyway. Jeez. You knew Raina went hard on the school-sanctioned events, but you didn't think she'd go this far for a trial run. And speaking of, skirting around a group of other students, you looked high and low, circling around the most crowded parts of the yard. Towards the back, the property transitioned into the riverbank, and it was there that you spotted Raina, standing under a grand willow tree with her hand to her chin. Time to check in. I'm back. Kid, my dear. She looked over her shoulder, her signature smile blooming on her lips as she spun on the balls of her feet. Okay, so, how'd everything go? Raina regarded you with a concerned tilt of her head, her smile cooling a little. I heard there was an interruption, maybe? I mean, it was kind of unavoidable, but they did leave eventually. Uh-huh. Anyway, your friend said he'd definitely be done on time, and that's why I'm back. You were careful not to state said friend's name out loud. Raina arched an eyebrow, and a knowing glint entered her eye as she held her hand out for you to return her spare key. And how'd you get along with that friend of mine? You helped him because Raina asked you to, and you didn't really care for his company. You didn't really care for his company past that. That sounds maybe a little bit mean. He was skittish and for good reason. I don't know. This is the sort of choice that I would like to choose it and then be able to go back and choose some other choices just to see like what exactly they mean by some of these things. But but I can't. They turned off my back. I hate when visual novels do that because, like I'm saying, for something like this, I'm not 100% sure that you didn't really care for his company isn't going to be mean. I don't know the tone of this game that well. So what if I choose it thinking that it's just like, oh, I'm feeling fairly neutral about him, and the game's like, I fucking hate him. I'm gonna choose it anyway, but I'm hoping it's not I fucking hate him. Alright, I guess. I don't know what his deal is, and I don't really want to know either. That's kind of not great, but fair enough. Well, you were gone for a while, so I'll trust you're the reason he'll do just fine. Thanks. Rena clapped her hands softly together, bobbing on her feet as she slipped back into administration mode. There's one more thing. Cam's getting the food started so you can join them and help man the grills for a while, okay? The grills? Suddenly, Rena's smile looked a lot more nefarious. You do know about... I do? I'm of the opinion they deserve as many chances to improve as it takes. Okay, so Cam's apparently not good at cooking. Rena, and besides, I'm sending you to look after them, aren't I? You're an enabler. Always. Now go before they burn something, okay? What does this mean? You were off like a shot, zipping between tables and students while trying to keep a calm face. Cameron wasn't a bad cook at all. The problem was they'd be working near an open flame. You wouldn't go as far as to say they were a pyromaniac, but, well, they tended to call fires pretty, and they had a fondness for staring right into them. You could smell coals catching. Oh no. Skidding onto the scene, he whipped an accusatory finger up to point at a certain ill-assigned grill master. Down, Cam, down! Cameron yelped, spinning around with their hands and a pair of tongs held towards the sky. Kid, I was just... Shush, I've caught you gasoline-handed. My hands are clean! It was a figure of speech. Also, you know you can't be 5 feet near an open flame. The Magma Carta binds us all. Aw, you don't have to invoke that, do you? The grill covers the fire, so... They deflated with a dramatic sigh, peeking at you with furtive hope. You, Deja, and Cam had a number of binding agreements between you, thanks to various incidents over the past 2 years. The Magma Carta was one of the more serious ones. That didn't mean there wasn't room for leniency, of course. You just had to be sure it was safe leniency. Well, the good news is Rena sent me to help you. Just promise to take this seriously. Cam's eyes sparkled, and they pressed a curled fist to their chest, nodded, and turned to find you an apron. You were officially on the line with trusty Cameron as your head chef. And we're off. Fire at will. Just kidding. Kebabs. I almost say kebabs. And burger patties hit the grates with a chorus of happy hisses, and Cameron clicked their tongs gleefully. The air quickly filled with the smell of cooking meat, and volunteers all over the yard started to perk up. Food hitting the grill, of course, meant that the prep time was winding down, and the party would be starting soon. The end was within sight, or within scent. Now we're at a barbecue. Hit, grab that tray. You got it. With your own pair of tongs, you spiked skewers and patties in rows, swapping out trays as you needed. Cameron flipped a fresh batch on right afterwards, and working together, you had the first of several buffet tables stocked in no time. Then came the vegetarian options, the mixed skewers, the hot dogs, the buns. Tray by tray, stack by stack, you worked in tandem, creating easy jokes and laughs under the cheerful spring sun. Ahem, ahem. It's time, people. We're gonna have guests arriving soon. The squeak of a megaphone drew your eye to where Rena stood, waving one hand overhead as she waited for everyone to turn her way. She wore a wide, brave smile, and the crowd naturally hushed as the student government waited for its president to speak. No time for pep talks. I appreciate you all for being here, and I have no doubt this is going to be a great event. Let's keep our heads in the game, but let's also have fun, okay? Now on 3, we all scream, "Let's go, chickadees!" 1, 2, Let's go, chickadees! And the party was on. The volunteers dispersed with loud cheers, and music started to play from speakers set up on the lawn. There was an answering cheer from outside, and the first guests came through the gates in droves. Welcome, everyone. I know I asked you to come hungry, but give our crew a little more time, and that way we'll have something ready for everyone. Dance, play, run, have fun. Go on. Reina's voice blared through the megaphone once more, effortlessly steering all the new arrivals away and saving you and Cameron from an untimely, ignoble end. You glanced at each other with rueful grins, but before you could pick up the next tray, the SGB Prez herself popped up right next to you. Hello, my little helpers. In a flash, she held both sets of tongs in her hands, clicking them as she nudged you both aside. Thanks for all your hard work. I'll take over from here. We're free? Thanks to Kit, who reduced your sentence by keeping you all honest. She winked, waving dismissively as you and Cameron said about untying your aprons. Deja should be around the fire pit if you're looking for her. Go pray. Go pray. Go play, frolic, so forth. Frolic? It's a large backyard. Do what your heart desires. Now begone. With a final wave of her scepter, tongs, Reina turned back to the grill. Newly dismissed, you and Cameron hustled back towards the riverbank, circling around the crowds until you reached an area strewn with lawn chairs. Deja was right at the center, lounging with her bare feet kicked up on the edge of the unlit fire pit. Dee! Hi, Deja. You both sped into a trot, and you reached out to steady the lawn chair as Cameron folded down onto their knees to flop over Deja's legs. Hello, my doves. How's the party? Barely started. While you claimed the second lawn chair, Deja lowered her head, a faint frown crossing her face. Cameron, why do you smell like smoke? Because I was cooking? She raised a single eyebrow, and Cameron sat up to pass the buck, scrambling away to perch on your armrest with a mischievous laugh. Kit was supervising. The fire was very pretty. I'm kidding. Reina put us both on grill duty for a bit. You should have seen the folks prepping the food earlier. They were putting skewers together so fast I thought I was seeing double. Were they working outside? Pretty much. I heard someone saying they weren't allowed in the kitchen, so yeah. What were you up to, Kit? I was indoors decorating cupcakes. What? That sounds more like fun than work. Not necessarily. I'm going to guess it was an unholy amount of cupcakes. Something like that. The impulse flickered briefly into your head to reveal who you'd been helping, but before you could raise the point, Cameron stretched out on the grass with a cozy sigh. Well, we finally get a little bit of downtime. Deja, how about you? Your roommate grimaced gently, gesturing down at where her heels lay abandoned under her chair. After I was done delegating, Reina asked me to bring care packages to her neighbors to apologize for all the party noise. Man, when Reina plans a party, she plans to kill. Tell me about it. I had to make so many trips back and forth. Hey, check it out, 10 o'clock. You glanced casually to one side, spotting two people setting up a volleyball net on the riverbank. Nearby, a third person stacked spare cases of drinks, establishing the corners of a makeshift court. I hate to say it, but that looks like a safety issue. They're all adults. Besides, it looks like they know what they're doing. As Deja waved a hand lazily, one of the strangers spun a volleyball in their hands, laughing at something their friends were saying. It certainly did look like they were in their element. Why haven't we ever played volleyball? That was a joke, right? I'm going to assume that was a joke. Deja's easygoing smile chilled, and he smothered a small chuckle. It's a little fast-paced, huh? Yeah, I don't know if you've forgotten this about me, Cam, but sports and I don't mix. Cameron shrugged, absentmindedly ripping up a handful of grass to fiddle with. Come on, volleyball's fun. What's so fun about it? All sports are the same. You run around, you sweat, you go home. It's way more than that. For one thing, the players are in different positions and everyone's got their own strengths. So you have to build a team first, and then you're down to things like, okay, are you a quick tempo team or are you built around your libero? Around your what? And then if you're an aggressive team, what happens if your rivals are aggressive? Or what if they're really defensive? Then you've got to adjust on the fly, and the whole time you've got to keep the ball moving like boom and blam and shoot. Cameron, where is this coming from? How come you know so much about volleyball now? Anime. Cameron, that's anime. In real life, I'm gonna sit in the shade and I'm gonna relax. It's just volleyball, at least it's not, I don't know, soccer. You laughed softly to dispel the rising tension, and Deja gave you a sharp look, before her expression softened into something calmer. Cameron had caught on as well, and they eased off the pressure, turning to you instead with a rueful shrug. Wait, have you actually played before? I haven't. Yeah, I've played volleyball before. Oh, then could you play with me sometime? I mean, not today. I guess. Maybe fate was listening though, since in the next instant you heard rapid footfalls on soft grass. Running up to you was one of the volleyball players, the one who'd had the ball.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey. With a stranger in the mix, Cameron immediately clammed up. Out of the corner of your eye, you noticed them slipping down to sit awkwardly on their hands, dreaded grass and all. You and Deja settled smoothly into your respective roles without missing a beat. We're doing fine. How about you?
Oh, yeah. I'm Elio, he/him.
Elio, okay. Well, not always, let's be real, this is my first time playing the game. I originally read it as Elio, but I'll try to remember. Elio. Okay. He stuck a hand out and you took it for a brief shake. Nice to meet you, Elio. I'm Kit, they them pronouns. That's Deja.
She, her, thanks.
And this is Cameron, they them. Cameron meekly nodded, not quite making eye contact as they mustered a small smile.
Nice to meet you all. So hey.
Elio jabbed a thumb over his shoulder, pointing to the volleyball court with a bright grin.
My buddies and I are gearing up for a game, and, well, 2-on-1 isn't exactly an even match. Any chance you three would want to play? Just for fun, no points. Unless you want them.
At the glint in his eye, you said you had half a feeling he actually preferred to play for points, no matter what he said. It was Cameron's golden opportunity, practically falling into your laps. But when you looked at them, Cam was staring down at their legs, looking a little shaky. You know, can you give us a quick moment?
No prob. You know where to find me.
Elio jogged back to his friends, and at your beckoning, Deja helped you nudge Cameron up and towards the big willow tree, its trailing branches giving you some privacy from the rest of the party. Cameron, are you okay? Yeah, never mind, I changed my mind. Hands fisted in the hem of their hoodie, Cameron kept staring straight down at their feet, all traces of earlier excitement snuffed completely out. Cam, if this is because... No, I know you don't like sports. Forget I said anything. I got carried away. It's fine. We can sit. I don't want to play. You and Deja exchanged silent looks. It was never easy seeing Cameron freeze up like this. They were an effervescent, sincere person, always ready to have fun, but they were also a huge wallflower whose anxiety often forced them to stay on the sidelines at larger events. It was unfortunately very easy to guess that they were mentally kicking themselves for backing down. This time, when you looked at Deja, you made a slightly pleading face. Well, it's a party. Better Reina's backyard than an actual gym. The fact that she was even considering it was a major concession, but one you knew she'd be willing to make. She was a strong-willed person, and you loved her for it, but Deja was never one to crush a friend's wishes outright. The problem was that this particular wish involved physical exertion, which Deja loathed with perfect simplicity. Cameron was already backtracking, and so, as a friend to them both, you merely had to contribute a little change of perspective. How about this? What are the odds we play volleyball today? Deja paused, tilting her head with a thoughtful sound. More importantly, Cameron paused too, and they actually peeked up at you, starting to look cautiously interested. 3? 3? Man. Could be worse. At least it's not 2. A 33% is still 33 more than I'd prefer, but... She shrugged gracefully, shedding her veneer of hesitation and sliding her hair back over one shoulder. Them's the rules. Them's the rules. Them's the rules. Okay. Sometimes you have to step out of your comfort zone. What are the odds is a game you, Deja, and Cam play. Your character may participate in a follow-up event. Okay. We've rigged that moment as an example, but when it's your turn to be prompted, we won't rig the results. Okay. There are 2 ways for Watto to start. You prompt someone to play, or a character prompts you. The prompter asks, what are the odds? The prompted gives a number between 1 and 10. The higher the number, the lower the chances. The 2 count down and then say a number between 1 and the response. Okay, so 1 and 3. If they choose the same number, the prompted has to do what was asked of them. If they didn't, then nothing happens. Okay. Okay. I think I understand. Okay, so Cam, it's you and me. Ready? In 3, 2, 1. Ooh, please type a number from 1 to 3. To be fair, they could have done this as, like, a list. We didn't have to type. I'm thinking 1. I don't know if you're thinking 1. I do want to play volleyball because you want to play volleyball. Not because I in particular want to play volleyball, but Watto, am I right? We both said 1. Well. Oh, nice. Before they could help themselves, they hopped, finding some of that excitement from earlier as they let a laugh out unbidden. To the side, Deja smiled and shook her head. It was impossible to be upset if they were going to be this endearing about it. For the record, you don't have to back down when it comes to us. I know, I just didn't want to push you. It's not fun if I'm the only one who wants to be there. You gonna be okay? They took a breath, then let go of their hoodie, nodding as they lifted their head. Yeah, I want to try. I have both of you, so it's not as terrifying, I think. That's good. Let us know when you need a break. I will. As you moved towards the volleyball net, one of Elio's friends caught sight of you first, lifting an arm for a friendly wave. At that, Elio turned to face you, wearing a wide, beaming grin.
Hey, you want to play after all.
Caveat, we're not going to be good, but yes.
That's great. Let's get some quick intros out of the way. Gang, these are our opponents. Opponents, meet the gang.
Oh, interesting. It's going to be us versus you. I thought that it was going to be, like, intermingled. Not exactly the best introduction, but it's a start. One of the gang was standing off to the side, apparently spacing out, but the other, redheaded with freckles, stepped up with another small wave. In the same movement, they plucked the volleyball out of Elio's hands, ignoring his little sound of protest. I'm Rory. I'm this guy's RA.
Come on. You're not just my RA.
Dude, I love you. I do, but saying your RA is your friend is like asking your parent to take you to prom.
What? No. You're still my friend.
Until your actual buddies get here, sure. And this... They leaned over, looping the third student under their arm and tugging them closer. Is Keegan. Both of us prefer he/they pronouns, and Keegs uses they a little more often. Don't take it the wrong way if they don't look at you. He's usually halfway out of whatever's going on. I'm listening. Sometimes you are, buddy. Sometimes you are. Keegan rolled their eyes gently before tilting their head at you. What's up? Ooh, a better question. What's down? Also known as you guys after this game. I like that one.
Oh, God. That was painful.
Huh. There's, 2 of you now. I am so looking forward to this.
You know I can tell when you're being sarcastic.
Me? Sarcastic? Never. Elio swiped quickly for the ball, and Rory stuck their arm out of the way before sticking their tongue out and dropping the ball into Elio's waiting hand.
So, simple game of keepy-uppy? Or do we want to play for points? Fair warning though, I'm not bragging, but if we play for real, I'll win.
Way to keep your teammates in mind, kiddo.
Okay, you can share in the title, but the crown's still mine.
There was that glint in his eye again, a hint of competitive spirit hidden by that easygoing smile. I'm here to kick ass and eat food, and the food's not ready yet. Elio cocked his head to one side, spinning the volleyball into a tricolored blur between his hands.
So, we're doing smack talk, huh? That mean you want to play for points?
Let's do it. Deja's eyes drilled a hole in the back of your head, but you held firm, putting a hand on your hips as you faced Elio with a confident smile. In times like these, it was important not to hesitate. Oh, better get your head in the game, Keegs. Looks like we're playing for keeps. Fun. Elio chuckled, the sound rumbling deep in his chest as he lowered his head. His next smile was toothier, shadowed by a mix of exuberance and ambition.
Then, why don't we play a full set? First to 25 points wins.
You're on.
All right, the first serve's all yours.
I have a feeling this is going to be when I'm going to need quick time events. Oh boy. Elio lobbed the ball underhand, sending it in a high, slow arc. You caught it with a low oomph, moving to the back line of the court as Elio, Rory, and Keegan ducked under the net. So, what now? I have to reiterate, I really don't know what I'm doing here. Kit, are you gonna be a blocker or a king? A king? Yeah, wait, no, that was an anime thing. I don't know what those words are. That's it, we're screwed. Let's just focus on having fun. Are we really doing that, Kit? No, you're right, I want to win.
Hey! You ready yet over there? Or are you guys getting cold feet?
Elio was stooped in the back half of his side of the court, with Rory in the opposite corner. Keegan idled up front with a much more relaxed posture, though even his eyes were trailing you, waiting quietly for you to make a move. You wish. Quickly, you cobbled together a rough strategy. Your friends would be closer to the net, Deja to set and Cameron to block and spike. You'd have to cover the rest on your own. Standing at the back line, you tossed the ball up once, then twice, testing its weight, then shifted your weight into a familiar stance. The ball spun a little in your grasp as you searched for the right grip.
Looks like someone knows how to play.
I'll be nice. Hey, no you don't. As Elio's RA, I demand you put him in the ground.
What he said. But also, Rory, what the hell?
Yep, there we are. Big time events. I knew it was gonna happen. Oh, key input results sometimes scale according to how many successful inputs you make. Okay. Here we go. I'm a little bit nervous. Taking a small running start, you lobbed the ball straight up. It caught a spin, rotating as it fell, and your hand met the ball with a hearty smack, and it flew neatly over the net, spinning furiously as it plunged towards the ground. I kind of wish that I did it slower just to have, like, extra time, but it's okay, I already put it to slow. For all his eagerness, Elio twisted too far as he moved to receive. Damn, and the ball smacked cleanly off of his bicep, bouncing clear out of bounds.
Holy shit! Nice kill!
Let's go. Cameron spun for a high five, introversion completely forgotten as they let out a victorious scream. Deja even clapped for you a few times, her earlier reluctance replaced by a small, satisfied smirk. So, 1-0? Elio laughed easily as he returned to the court. volleyball tucked safely under one arm. I'm not going to be able to carry this entire team, but
Okay, I admit you got me there. Now, let me even the score.
then the grin on his face sharpened, and without waiting another second, he tossed the ball for a serve and rushed forward. His arm came down like a warhammer. If your serve had sounded like a smack, his was a booming crack of sheer force, and the ball flashed by you in a blur, slamming into the grass right in front of the boundary line.
Oh no.
There it is. Come on, Elio, I thought you were gonna give them a fighting chance.
Just our luck. Our first volleyball game is against literal, actual Hercules.
It's no, we've got this.
Do we, bestie? Do we?
After a few more volleys and some near misses, you found a clunky but steadily improving rhythm, okay? Come on, is that all you guys got? You slapped a hand on your thigh, dropping into a half squat as the ball rolled out of bounds on Elio's side again. He laughed openly, backing up into the corner with a shrug. Save your energy, the game's not over yet. This time, he tossed the ball up for a floating serve. In a fraction of a second after his hand connected, the ball slammed onto your side of the court, sending up a comical puff of dirt and grass. That could have been my face. 25 points was no walk in the park. The match wore on, and you tried your hardest to keep the gap between your teams as small as possible. It was admittedly difficult since Rory revealed that he was no amateur either, and with him and Elio trading offense and defense, they really had you scurrying across the grass. Keegan was thankfully a lot more lenient. They never strayed from their spot, saving their energy so they could jump, spike, and go idle again. Altogether, the match was fairly even, albeit thanks to different levels of effort. Finally, the game was heading for its natural conclusion. The race was neck and neck. Oh no! Your team was sitting at 24 points, just a single point ahead. For all your gusto, Deja and Cameron were starting to tire, and you could feel your own energy flagging. Your legs screamed for a break, and you could feel the pulsing in your thumbs from where you kept bouncing the ball back. How about we call it after this last volley? Oh, thank goodness. I mean, if that's what you want. Cameron psyched himself up with a fist stuck in the air, and Deja nodded grimly, her eyes closing as she caught her breath. Then let's make it count. Winner takes all. Man, but we were leading. Not by much. Actually, we're behind by a point. They don't know that. I do. You ready? Oh boy. Elio launched the final serve, and the court was plunged into slow motion. He leaped, arms swinging. His hand met the ball, and it sailed directly towards the back line, where you stood. Oh, God. You dropped, knees digging into the dirt as you braced your entire body under the receive. The ball ricocheted off your forearms, flying high overhead. Cameron looked between Deja and you, then up at the ball. They bit their lip, then reached up, ready to set. And Deja looked at you, pointing a manicured nail at the net, okay? It's up to you. Oh, okay. So you rushed forward, ignoring your weary body as you pushed for one final jump. The ball was set, and you pitched your arm back, slamming your palm straight into it with a satisfying, stinging smack. You spiked hard and fast, and Keegan barely got a hand out to deflect the ball at a hopeless angle. No! Elio flung himself down, and his fingers brushed against the ball, but it wasn't enough. Both Elio and the volleyball went rolling out of bounds. Oh my gosh, are you alright? Elio sat up, his hat askew and his face smeared with a little dirt. The damage couldn't be worse than a scratch or two, especially if he was laughing like he was. Shit, you got me. With a hand braced on the grass, he kicked smoothly back upright, tapping the ball with one foot to roll it back within bounds. Quickly, carelessly, he tugged his shirt up by the collar, using the fabric to wipe some of the sweat and dirt off of his chin. Good game, good game. We won? It's a real underdog story. We won! Laughing, you braced yourself as Cameron dragged you and Deja in for a hug, and the three of you stumbled and spun around like an ungainly, lopsided vinyl. We did it. See, and wasn't that fun? You didn't want to play earlier. I will still never play a volleyball game again for as long as I live. But I'll admit it was pretty fun. Ahem, is this thing on? Food's ready, everyone. Can I get a hell yeah? Like seagulls on a boardwalk, every single person at the party turned. By this point, the self-service tables were a mountain range of loaded trays and foil-wrapped goodies, but all eyes were on Reina as she stood with a megaphone in one hand and a spatula in the other. As her entire guest list stared at her in hopeful silence, she rolled her eyes, then brandished her spatula high overhead. I said, can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah, Reina. Hell yeah! It wasn't long before the crowd broke into cheers, and just like that, the spell was broken. Alright kids, you better get going. You're not eating? Oh, trust me, I'm eating. I'm just gonna go look for my partner first. I'm gonna bounce too. Gonna wait in the line. Nope. I'm gonna wait for the line to calm down a bit. Oh, okay. Thanks for playing, guys. Yep. If I see your boys, I'll tell them you're in line, yeah? Rory disappeared in one direction and Keegan drifted away in the other. Elio turned to the three of you, his smile going a little lopsided as he hazarded a question. So, are you getting in line too? I'd be skipping it if I could, so yes. Deja's SGB vice president. She was kind of in charge of setup after Reina. Oh, well, let's grab a spot. I told my friends I'd hold their place too, so that's where they'll know to find me. He didn't seem awkward at all about pulling you into the loop, even if you were still relative strangers. If anything, it looked like he was purposely waiting for you rather than rushing for a spot in line. It's pretty nice of him. He was a good guy overall. He wasn't the only friendly stranger on campus, of course, and you'd only just met. That made it particularly sweet that he'd decided you were worth so much of his time and attention. Okay, roll it back a little bit. I was just saying that he was nice. Not that I wanted to marry the man. Yeah, sure, sounds great. Quickly, you hustled over, bunching together in between the other students waiting excitedly for their turn. Elio turned to and fro on his tiptoes, searching the crowds before he dropped back down with a shrug. Well, if they're not here when we get up there, I'll just grab a little extra of everything. Only a little extra? Elio jolted forward as someone thumped a flat palm between his shoulders. Whoa! There you are. Leaning over his shoulder was a familiar stranger with dark hair, her head tilting as they leveled an easy smirk at the rest of you. When their eyes met yours, they lingered. Ooh. And the smirk widened a centimeter. Hey, you. Huh. What were the odds? He grinned, lifting a hand for a small wave. Hey. I suppose this is your scooter story from earlier. Your scooter story, huh? You already know Percy. Wow, what a name card. Yep, that's me. He, him. So, it sounds like you heard what happened. More or less. Something about a rom-com? Deja. Well, in any case, I'm Deja, she, her. This is Cameron, they, them, and you've met Kit. They, them, by the way. Hey, for real though. Sorry about earlier. Huh? I wouldn't, With a gentle clap, he brought his hands together, bending forward slightly as his smirk was replaced by a genuinely apologetic smile. I know I was really joking around, and maybe you thought it was funny, in which case it's all good, but I'm still gonna apologize. I usually don't go that far when I'm meeting new people. Well, actually, I do. Which one is it? I just lay it on real thick if I think I won't meet someone again. It's a bad habit, and I'll own up to that. Whatever impression you have of me, I can only say I'm not like that all the time. No apologies necessary, it was a fun conversation. Never hurts to make sure. It's hard to believe, but sometimes people do get fed up with me. As you reached the front of the line, Elio started passing paper plates down to each of you, looking around one more time as he did. Jamie's not with you? I had a feeling all three of them were gonna be friends. I had a feeling. We found a good out-of-the-way spot to eat, so he's holding on to it. It's just us on food duty. Wait, Jamie as in... You let the question slip before you could think about it. Both Percy and Elio looked at you. Probably the one you're thinking about, yeah. It was just coincidence after coincidence, wasn't it? Your luck today was something else. This was a less than welcome surprise, but I don't hate him. But it wasn't like you could make a face in front of people who just revealed themselves as his friend. I just thought I was really neutral about him. I don't hate him, though. With a small shrug, he looked down, picking up a pair of tongs and sliding a few kebabs onto your plate. Oh, I only meant Reina asked me to help him out earlier. Jamie's here? I asked him if he would be, but he didn't even know the barbecue was happening. Percy and Elio underwent two reactions in quick succession. Cautious curiosity at your explanation, and then blank, undisguised shock at Cameron's comment. A tomato slice slid off of Elio's half-assembled burger, and without looking, Percy held out one of his two plates to catch it. You asked, like, in a conversation? Wait, now I need to double-check. Jamie as in Porter. Percy lowered his voice to a whisper, and Cameron hesitated before nodding. You and your roommate twisted around to look at them with quizzical expressions. Since when did you know Jamie Porter? Well, I mean, we've talked. I don't know if we're friends, but I see him around campus sometimes. That was unexpected. You didn't expect Cameron to share every single detail of their life with you, but now you felt a retroactive protective instinct rising in your chest. Maybe Jamie was a polite, well-spoken guy, but you knew he had it in him to be a little cold, too. I don't hate the man. If it turned out he'd ever turned his disapproval on Cameron, you'd simply have to throw down. Huh. Percy glanced at Elio, and Elio glanced at Percy. A look passed between them, reminding you of the way you, Deja, and Cam sometimes communicated with your expressions alone. Don't get us wrong, that's totally fine. We were just surprised, that's all. Yeah, no offense, but Jamie hasn't made another friend since we met him. We thought he didn't know how. Well, that's a little... Yeah, I can't say I haven't thought that sometimes. Not the sociable type. Let's put it that way, sure. But if you two already know him, want to eat together? Cameron balked up a little, but Deja pressed a drink cup and napkin into their hand, taking the chance to give them a small, encouraging smile. Sure? Yeah, if you don't mind? Why not? Sweet. Percy, is that enough food? Oh shit, hang on, let me just... You were loaded up and clear of the tables in a few more minutes, chatting idly as Percy led you on a long, circuitous route around the Lord. Thanks to the absolute abundance of food, people barely paid you any attention, and so you wound all the way back to the riverbank. It turned out the out-of-the-way spot was the fire pit. The long branches of the willow tree cast fluttering shadows over the two chairs there, one of which was already occupied. Oh, hello, Cameron. Jamie, glad you can make it. Cameron bounced forward with uncharacteristic ease, and Jamie tipped his head to one side, his eyes gaining the faintest of twinkles. He didn't quite smile, and in fact, as Percy ambled over to drop a plate into his hands, he even dared to frown. What's this? Exactly what you asked me for, whatever I'm having. Percy dropped down to balance himself on the armchair of Jamie's seat, and Elio settled on the edge of the fire pit with a soft chuckle. You and your friends arranged yourself almost in a mirror image, though Cameron sat on the grass so they could use the fire pit's stone border as a table. Deja tucked herself cross-legged into the remaining chair, and you turned sideways to sit on the arm. So, we hear you got some friends you want to introduce to us. Where? Jamie blinked, and when he didn't give up on the joke, Percy rolled his eyes and stabbed his fork into a chunk of grilled chicken. Never mind, I was going to make you introduce us to Cameron and Kit. That sounds unnecessary, but hello? He nodded to Deja, and she lifted her drink in a tiny toast before taking a sip. Hi, Deja, she, her. I know you already. Sure. They left it at that, and as you tucked into your meals, Deja changed the subject, tapping her fork thoughtfully against her plate. Elio, you go to a lot of campus events, don't you? Yeah, but how'd you know? I just remembered who you are. In the SG, we call you Galileo. You're the one who draws stars all over your feedback forms. Aw. What? I fill out the rest of the forms, too. You don't have to defend yourself, man. I never do them. You don't? Deja fixed Percy with a cool look, and Cameron coughed into their fist. Ahem, Deja's on board. Oh, I mean, I'm so very looking forward to filling out a form later. In your defense, those forms are very long. Remind me to look over your shoulder later when we're handing those out. You retreated into your plate with a little mumble, and Jamie chose then to reach over, sliding a patty and half of a bun onto Elio's plate. Ooh, this is going straight in my quadruple decker. Flipping the new additions on top of his already teetering burger, Elio squished the whole thing together, ignoring the condiments that oozed over his fingers, and managed one massive bite. That's genuinely terrifying. I've seen him accomplish worse. Are you not that hungry? Jamie lifted a kebab, using his fork to push the skewered components free. I'm usually a light eater, as Percy knows. Again, you tell me to get you what I'm getting you what I'm getting. Percy spoke with a hand to his mouth, shielding you all from any social mishaps as he finished chewing. Once he was done, he pointed his empty skewer, flicking it between Jamie and Cameron. And hey, don't think you're not explaining how you know each other. The public wants to know. It's me, I'm the public. What a coincidence, I'm also the public. My middle name is, in fact, the public. Yeah, I'll join in. Cameron pressed their lips together, picking at the tab of a canned drink they'd set aside. It's really not that much to talk about. They looked at Jamie and he shrugged lightly, contributing the barest of explanations. Bake sale, second year. Well, that narrows it down to approximately a full year of bake sales if your paperwork is right. Have fun figuring out which one it was. All I figured out so far is you're both third-year students. Jamie and Cameron nodded, and Deja twirled her finger to indicate everyone else. And the rest of us are all second years? Yep, astrophysics major. Biology, trying for a minor in math. Urban and environmental planning. And Cam and I are both poli-sci, but Cam's also majoring in philosophy. Philosophy? Percy, isn't that your current bet? Sure is. The two of them looked pointedly at Jamie, who calmly took another bite of salad. Maybe that's how they met. I'm not telling. Why? What's your major, Jamie? He won't tell us. We literally live with him and we still don't know. You weren't sure which half of that to focus on, the fact that these three were roommates. I'm focusing on that fact. Or the sudden emphasis on the mystery that was Jamie Porter. If I had to guess, I'd say some kind of engineering. Pre-med track? He shook his head twice in a row. Sports management. Theater would be so good too. Like some of these I could actually see being his major, though I'm saying the funny option. But like linguistics, I could kind of see that. He seems like a linguistics major. Theater. Nope. He says that every time. We'll get him one of these days. Can't you just look at his homework, or... By now, the megaphone's whine and crackle was a familiar sound, and as the music dimmed, Raina hopped up onto her porch with a smile and a wave. Hey all, hope everyone's having a fun time. When her backyard erupted into cheers, Raina giggled and curled a lock of her hair behind her ear. Glad to hear it. I have an announcement to make. As you know, I am your SGB president, and thus it may surprise none of you to hear that today's party is a test run for a new yearly event. Welcome to the Student Government Scavenger Hunt. Oh boy. Murmurs swept through the crowd, and heads turned back and forth as people tried to guess where the game would take place. Drinks, snacks, and lawn games were scattered all over the place by now. It was impossible to tell whether anything was hidden amidst the clutter. If you're busy eating or chilling out, feel free to keep doing that, but I'm pleased to say we have a prize up for grabs set aside from our funding for the year. You can form teams of up to 3, and the prize will be evenly split. Be the first to bring me all the items on our list, and you will win $500. The silence collapsed instantly into a storm of whoops, howls, and downright feral screeches. In the chaos, you traded glances with Deja and Cameron. It was time. You know what we must do. Win. Not if we find everything first. Damn. Elio grinned widely, looking at the 3 of you as he made a questioning gesture. You nodded in return, and he quickly leaned across the fire pit, stacking everyone's empty plates and cups before hopping up to find a trash can. While he scampered off, Percy stood to stretch leisurely, tugging at a lock of Jamie's hair and scuttling aside to avoid a light swat. Well, 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 looks like we'll be bitter rivals for a little bit. It looks that way, yes. And just like that, the gauntlet was thrown. Elio had shown his competitive spirit during the volleyball game, but now that a cash prize was on the line, it was his turn to see how driven Deja could be. Strategy D? We split up, divide and conquer. Who's gonna go Teams, get ready. Your targets are a chickadee plushie, a school t-shirt, and a flag with the board's initials on it. Your time starts now. Go, go, go. And Raina lifted an air horn with her other hand, effectively muting any attempts to formulate a plan with a long, ear-splitting honk. Elio pelted away at once, while Percy pulled Jamie from his chair and ushered him in another direction. You glanced at your friends. You had mere seconds to decide how you'd do this. We search, then we meet at the back porch. Kit. I'll search the backyard. Then I'll go inside. Cam, you want to go out front? They bounced up and down on the balls of their feet, all their wallflower inclinations pushed aside for the chance to scramble, scoot, and search. Go get him, Tiger. For money! Cameron sprinted off, and Deja gave you a quick salute, then spun to stalk forward, or toward the back door. You turned, running a hawkish eye over the yard. I'm afraid I'm going to get more quick time events. Let me get ready, mentally. There were still plenty of people here, checking under tables, behind chairs, and in the party supplies piled in between. In what felt like a practiced movement by now, you circled around the back edge of the yard. The lack of excitement was probably a sign that nothing would be hidden in the most crowded parts of the yard. But that just meant you were searching farther and farther back. And as you moved along the riverbank, someone spoke directly above you. Hello? Man, I really thought there'd be something up here. What the? Elio! The leaves of the willow tree rustled, and in an impressive show of dexterity, Elio swung upside down into view, his legs hooked around a low branch as he held his hat to his head. Hey, Kit. Hey, do I need to be concerned here? Nah, I climbed up here. I'll get down just fine. Elio's idea hadn't been bad at all. The willow tree's branches were old and broad, providing plenty of spots a plushie or a shirt could be tucked away. There was only one problem. I'm only saying this because she's not close enough to hear me, but there's no way Raina could get into that tree. Oh, she was the one who hid everything? Yeah, I don't see any ladders, so... Elio beckoned for you to step back. and he swung off of his perch, slipping a half backflip in so he landed solidly on his feet. His hat didn't even fall off. Just how many times had he done that for it to be so natural of a move? You're starting to suspect volleyball was just the tip of the iceberg with him. As he landed, his shoe glanced off of something embedded in the ground, a dark green metal stake bent at the top so it sat almost invisibly in the grass. Huh. Why has Reina got tent stakes out in her yard? Curiously, Elio bent down and tapped it, lifting a translucent fishing line tied to the stake. He tugged it, and you both followed it with your eyes over the sloped edge of the riverbank. What the? You leaned over, and Elio gave the line another tug. Down in the river, a blob of sodden fabric splashed to the surface. Oh, there it is. Oh no. Elio heaved on the line, yanking the waterlogged fabric up like he was bagging a fish. It arced in the air, sending droplets of river water everywhere. And you leaped in the way, snatching it out of the air, landing and sprinting away. Hey, get back here! Percy and Cameron were already waiting, waving maroon-colored flags and shouting, "There are multiple flags?" and shouting at the unfolding scuffle. Run, Kit! Without skipping a beat, you unfurled the shirt and worked it free of the fishing line, ducking wildly as Elio tried to grab hold of either you or your bounty. Get out. Excuse me. Elio leaped, trying to intercept, and you barely pulled out of the way with an ungainly squeak. It was a pell-mell race for the porch, and you were up against a very athletic opponent. There'd be no second-guessing now. You had to run. I don't know why saying after every single time that I press a button kind of helps. You barely made it without getting caught, thundering up the steps to slap the dripping shirt into Reina's hands. Here, take it. Oh, gross. I have no one but myself to blame for this. We just need the back door opened, and Deja burst through, wild-eyed and all but slamming a chickadee plushie into Reina's other hand. And that's the game! We won! Yes! The sheer volume of Deja's victory screech knocked you and Cameron into a bout of hysterical laughter, and even Reina struggled to keep a straight face as she held up a sealed envelope. All right, I guess since you've earned it, your spoils. The envelope was open as soon as it met Deja's hands, and as she danced down the porch step, she pulled out a handful of crisp bills, slapping them straight into Cameron's hand. The rest went up in the sky to flutter down over your heads. Deja laughed more giddily than you'd ever heard her, and you couldn't help but join in. Oh, let's go! Oh my god, I love that. Ooh, at least be humble about it. Can't hear you, busy gloating. Gloating, bragging, rejoicing. All of the above. Percy, Jamie, and Elio stood to one side, watching with various degrees of amusement as you transitioned from jumping and screaming to picking up all the bills off of the ground. Somehow I thought $500 would be like a lot more than this. It's all in larger denominations, all perfectly spendable, of course, and ooh, are we gonna spend it? I'm buying you both cars. We're gonna have matching cars. But you give us rides all the time. I don't hate giving you rides, but I'll say it again, matching cars. What about parking or the environment? We have a decent transit system. That's actually the problem with most cities. All right, I get it. Cameron threw up a hand in defeat, fanning themselves huffily with their handful of prize money. We'll buy you a city instead, one close by so we can visit. I didn't even know it was possible to debate this much over prize money. Your fiercest rivals of the day strolled closer with varying degrees of enthusiasm, Elio chuckling as he looked peacefully between you and your friends. I would have just put it in a savings, I think. Or you'd be ordering takeout. It was a close one at the end. Jamie was a second too late against a friend. You're telling me. It's twice you beat me today. I'll try even harder next time, just you wait. The adrenaline of the scavenger hunt wore away at last, and as all of you slipped into casual banter, Deja looked down at the refilled envelope in her hands with pursed lips. I should recount all this, actually. Yeah, I think there's some grass in there now, too. Want to sit? Then, finally, the festivities began to wind down. Evening crept closer, and lights strung through the yard flickered on to replace the dwindling sunlight. Comforted by the softness of the spring breeze, you stretched out your legs on the lawn, leaned back onto your hands as you listened to the conversations around you. You mind if I hand out your share later? Yeah, there's no rush. In the car, maybe? Cameron reappeared and flopped down next to you, having disappeared to sprint the spirit an entire stack of fully packed Tupperware into their car. We're all set, but I'm good to keep hanging out. I told my parents they didn't have to wait up. It's been a lot. I wouldn't mind a little more time off my feet. Deja rolled her head slowly back and forth, and gravity pushed her braids back as she stretched. You took her cue to relax, and as you scanned the gradually emptying yard, you felt your shoulders sloping down with the weight of a day well spent. It'd been more fun than you'd expected, and you met some new people through a series of coincidences that strung you all together here, below the willow tree in Raina's backyard. Was this what people called a silver lining? Even if you'd had your misgivings in the beginning, the picture before you wouldn't be complete if any single person was missing. Do you guys have any big plans after this? Well, we're definitely not going to steal that prize money from you. What could possibly convince any of you to do that? Whether or not I make a distraction? Aw, Elio. Oh no, you sound disappointed in me. Don't do me like that, Kit. With Elio's help withdrawn, Percy made a harmless pass at the envelope still in Deja's lap, and she brushed his hand away with a flick of her wrist. Laughter rippled through your group, and Elio leaned away from his roommate as Percy rolled his eyes and smacked him in the arm. Do you three live nearby? Kit and I are on campus, and Cam commutes from farther out. And that's cool. We're on campus most of the time, too. Kinda weird we haven't run into each other at events before. Well, it was just Elio early on. This is kinda new for us, too. But it's been fun hanging out. It'd be dope if we kept in touch. For, the next party or whatever comes up. Elio dug his phone out of his pocket, unlocked it, and held it out. After a beat, a bit of self-conscious hesitation entered his posture, and he smiled a little nervously as his arm lowered. I mean, only if you're down for it. No pressure, seriously. It's always said, but giving your number to Elio? Yeah. He could be a new friend. Frankly, if he hadn't asked, you might have. It wasn't often you just clicked with people you met at campus events, but Elio had passed the standard with flying colors. Sure, no problem. Reaching out, you quickly added your number to Elio's contacts, then handed his phone to Deja to continue the exchange. Guess we'll be seeing a lot more of each other then. You think so? When Elio says that he wants to make plans, he usually makes good on them. And those plans all involve you? Well, they've got to. I'm his favorite. The prospect of hanging out with Percy more was... do we have to do this for every single last one? He'd be fun to spend more time with. Honestly, he was way funnier than you expected him to be. He had a kind of charisma that drew you in, immature jokes aside. Or rather, the bad jokes were a bonus. While numbers were traded, you noticed Jamie sitting quietly back. He didn't seem intent on joining in, but it was easy to guess why. You couldn't imagine the campus boyfriend giving out his contact info quite so freely, but Percy leaned against him with a quiet question, and he didn't refuse right away. His faith in his friends seemed to I can't pronounce that word, y'all. His doubts, and he nodded a little, granting silent permission for his number to be included in the group chat. Being in a group chat with Jamie? you did hope you could be friends with him. He put you off at first, but since he didn't, I just thought he was neutral and kind of boring. But since then, you'd seen and heard enough that your impression of him was changing. Hopefully it wasn't too late to approach him with a more optimistic mindset. Almost as soon as Elio had his phone back, your phone pinged with a new text. Hey guys. Hi. LMAO, hi, this is Percy. I'm going to guess that's Cam. So the other number is Deja. Good guess. Yes. Jamie, you have to say something so they know which number is you. Croissant. Oh, I'm a duck eating bread. Okay, what's this? Oh my god. Okay, hold on. We should play 3-on-3 volleyball next time. Bring it on. Keep that enthusiasm for next time. I'll have to convince them to go along with it. Me with Deja and Cameron too. We'll make it happen one day. I don't really care for sports, but you're excited, so. Okay, hold on. I have to figure out what was going on here. Don't forget the plan tomorrow. We got it. Do you? Run it down. No faith. Run down. Pick you up early. We go to Dickinson's. Then you guys pick me up. We go to Raina's with the goods. Easy. Good job. Now get some rest. You especially, Kit. After this read through. If you say so, well, good night, guys. Good night. Mwah, mwah. See you tomorrow night. 5th floor group chat. Oh my god, Deja. I have to read all of these now. Do you have? Sorry, got pulled away for something. SGV? For once, no. Had to answer a question from a classmate. Anyway, do you have time to run something to Cam? They left their assignment at our place and I just saw the text, like they texted me an hour ago. Do you have? Haha, very funny. Kit. Lol. I don't want to push, but I'm here if you want to talk. I was literally crying over my favorite character dying. Wait. Christopherson? No. That's what I'm saying. Start the episode over. I'm coming in. Cam. Oh my god. My life is over. What happened? My entire archive gone, just gone. All my reaction pictures lost to oblivion. Oh no. Oh, new phone. You can collect new ones. It's not the same, and the fact you think it is says everything I need to know about you. Hey Cameron, hey Kit, hey Cameron, hey Kit, hey Cameron, hey Kit, hey Cameron. Cameron, you're gonna be late for class. Your exams, Cameron. I've been tapping the window for 20 minutes. New group chat, which is still here, and then Elio. Okay. Cool. Close chat. My ear just died. No. This is not the time for my ear to be dying. Hold on. Gotta switch it. I don't think it's connected to the right thing. Oh boy, hold on. Not connected, yeah. There we go. Except for the fact that I can't hear in that ear. Sorry. Okay. The texting continued into the night, well after Cameron drove the two of you back to your apartment. There were a few hiccups here and there as everyone got used to each other's texting styles. At least the mistakes along the way were easy fodder for inside jokes. But bit by bit, the lulls between messages got longer, and as the sleepiness set in, your mind wandered to the unlikeliness of today's events. You met them by chance in quick succession thanks to one event. It would have been so easy to have never crossed their paths. If you'd been a fraction of a second later, if you've not gone to the party at all, maybe you'd already be asleep by now. You would have remained perfect strangers, but now, when you imagined life on campus, they were there in your mind's eye, and you were in theirs. One day, just one, and the picture had changed completely. Who knew what tomorrow would bring? Oh, and there is a next day. I was expecting the demo to kind of end right there. Well, let me tell you guys, it is almost 1 a.m., so I'm going to go ahead and save this here. Okay, this is just like everything. Cool. So I have a phone message waiting for me for next time. I'm really liking this game though. I'm thinking that this is a lot of fun. I'm liking the characters and the writing style, the way that they talk. This is a lot of fun. I'm really into this. But I am going to go ahead and go for right now because it's 1 a.m. and I need to go to bed. But I'm excited to play more. I'm excited to see how much more of the demo this is. Is this going to be like a really long time, or is this just going to be like a little bit more after this? I have no idea. But thank you for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed, and I will see you next time for some more Keyframes.